Simple questions should inspire simple answers. But an overreaction to a simple question just poses more questions. And when that person giving the answer is Sam Altman, CEO of OpenAI, well, those questions running through your mind could have global implications, not just to Gen X, but to everyone. So, welcome to Control Alt Debrief, a show for you, my fellow Gen Xers. I thought I'd keep you in the loop by sharing the latest AI news that could impact us. So, today we're talking about OpenAI probably can't make ends meet. That's where you come in. This comes to us from Gary Marcus on his Substack. I printed it out. Now, Gary observed a questionable response by Sam Altman to a question posed by hedge fund manager Brad Gerstner, and Marcus shared his thoughts on the subject. Gerstner asked Altman how OpenAI was going to pay for the $1.4 trillion in obligations he was taking on, given a mere $13 billion in revenue. It's math. It's a good question. Altman responded, well, not as professionally as I think a CEO should. He said, first of all, we're doing well more revenue than that. Second of all, Brad, if you want to sell your shares, I'll find you a buyer. Enough. I think there's a lot of people who would love to buy OpenAI shares. That's a bit of an extreme answer. Doubt us and you're free to leave? That's weird. Now, Altman did go on to make a case for how the future will provide the money he's asking about. Altman said, we are taking a forward bet that it's going to continue to grow, and that not only will ChatGPT keep growing, but we will be able to become one of the important AI clouds, that our consumer device business will be a significant and important thing, that AI that can automate science will create huge value. We carefully plan. Now, when I read this and later heard the response, especially the first part, it reminded me of a conversation that occurred 25 years ago. Enron was an energy company that made a lot of money providing what appeared to be inventive solutions in the energy sector. The truth was something else. The downfall began during a quarterly conference call. On the Q1 earnings call on April 17, 2001, hedge fund manager Richard Grubman asked Enron CEO Jeffrey Skilling a question equivalent to, how does Enron make money? It was a simple question that should have been easy to answer by the CEO of a major energy company, but Skilling didn't answer the question. He said that their balance sheets would be available the following quarter. Now, Grubman challenged him by saying, you're the only financial institution that cannot produce a balance sheet or cash flow statement with their earnings. Skilling responded by giving a half-hearted, thank you very much, we appreciate that. And then, loud enough for everyone to hear on the call, under his breath, Skilling ended his answer with, asshole. That moment was the beginning of the end of Enron. And Altman's response, in a way, reminded me of that interaction 25 years ago. Now, to be clear, I'm not saying OpenAI or Altman are doing anything wrong or illegal like Enron did. But Altman's response didn't seem to, at least to me, match the spirit of the question. Instead, it seemed, well, defensive, petty. Like, if you don't want to play our game, I'll take my ball and find other friends. I mean, look, just coming from a CEO of a major US company, I don't know, it just felt wrong in some way, at least to me. But then again, who am I? It's just my opinion. Now, the question that Gerstner asked was valid because with new tech, there's always new opportunities for growth. But there's also a lot of expenditure in the beginning to prove out the concept. With artificial intelligence and LLMs, well, that's no different. We know and have heard from the AI evangelists like Sam Altman just how great AI is supposed to be, how much efficiency can be gained, how much money businesses can save and or make over time, and how you can have a business run completely by AI agents that never sleep or make mistakes, and that they can do work much cheaper than a human. Yes, there are efficiency gains, but the current LLM structures allow for errors to be output, so it will make mistakes. And how do you run a business automated by agents that could be wrong? Outputs are not consistent and require human oversight. Code generation is faster, but it also requires human oversight. I'm not saying that AI won't reach those goals, but AI has not been able to prove out the best case scenarios yet. In order to showcase those possibilities, it requires a heavy investment in capital to create the technology, to create the training required to make AI smarter and more predictable, and greater computational power through things like data centers. And that's why hedge fund manager Gerstner asked the math question. That sort of growth requires a lot of money. And Altman's answer, at least the first part, it sounded weak. Now, there have been some discussions throughout the industry about whether there's an AI bubble, whether the economy's current value is directly tied to AI groupings of AI developers and other industries that support the growth of AI, like data centers, which require hardware, hard drives, chipsets, RAM, power, electricity, grids. And there have been some people in economics and within the industry stating that the interest alone on the massive costs for data centers will require a great amount of cash flow, and that most AI companies currently don't generate enough to pay the interest on the money required, let alone the principal. Now, to be fair, with such a promising tech, that can quickly change. AI companies have obtained new business since this Substack was written in November of 2025, but the questions still remain, depending on who you listen to, whether it's the AI developers and evangelists or the people involved in data center creation. There is a concern about the strain on the electrical grid, and there are economists worried about the overall cost of implementing such a massive shift in technology in the world. But no matter the cost, the challenge with AI is that it's a race to the top. This is the Manhattan Project of our days. This is like the nuclear proliferation that happened during the Cold War. With AI, the first to superintelligence wins. Or does it? I mean, AI development will continue, right? One will continue to surpass the other, probably. So, is there ever an end to these AI wars? And if not, well, who's going to pay for it? And because of its implications, the AI industry is considered a potential national security concern. Now, it's not uncommon for the government and the private sectors to join forces in such cases. Now, recently, OpenAI CFO Sarah Fryer indicated, and later backed off, that she wanted the federal government to guarantee financing as they make massive investments in their AI infrastructure. Now, what that really means, I think, is that they want the risk to what they're doing as a business to be placed upon the taxpayers' shoulders and not their shareholders' shoulders. Kind of like that AI can just become too big to fail. Like after the 2008 crash that no bankers went to jail. It sounds like they want to make sure that whatever they do in this AI race, that they're protected from legal or financial consequences. At least that's how it appears to me. So that's a big concern for you and me, and we'll have to see how all this plays out. But Sam Altman's answer to a very simple question, it just didn't instill confidence in me. And it should have. I mean, he's the most public face of this tech. Now, fortunately, President Trump recently proposed that tech giants pay for power costs associated with data center implementations. And I'll say, I agree with this. I was in discussions last week about this subject, and I posed the question, why do we have to pay for the impact to the grid? Shouldn't the businesses that need the energy pay for that as part of their upscaling plan? And it appears that Trump, along with the governors of several northeastern states, agree with me. They want to push for what they call an emergency electricity auction, and that would compel the tech companies to fund new power plants. The tech companies would bid on 15-year contracts for new electricity generation capacity, helping with the global AI race, but doing so without hiking up utility bills to owners and businesses, while at the same time, it secures revenues for electrical companies for years in what would normally be a volatile market. So, in that respect, there's some hope there. Look, I'm not an economist, and I don't have any inside info from AI leaders. And I'm certainly not suggesting that AI companies are doing anything illegal or sketchy. But with such wide reaching tech, it'd be nice if this time the taxpayer wouldn't be on the hook for the business's risks, no matter how valid. Wouldn't that be nice? I don't know. We'll see what happens. So, AI is not just a business, it's a national security concern. And how that will impact its funding and business models has yet to be determined. But when it comes to AI evangelists, a little humility, just a little bit, would go a long way. And fulfilling the promise of AI will take a lot of money. Let's just hope it's not taxpayer money. So, what does this mean for us? Well, as Gen Xers, unfortunately, we've seen a lot of abuse when it comes to government covering up bad decisions of important companies. Whether, again, that be bailing out the banks in 2008, oh, or the government spending our Social Security money before we'll retire. We're all too familiar with us getting the short end of the financial stick. Now, AI has so much promise. Let's hope the AI leaders don't taint it by screwing over its customers by forcing them to have to bail them out too. And new tech, especially one as transformative as AI, well, it costs a lot of money to get it to work at an optimal level. In that space, there is opportunity for Gen Xers. I mean, if you're in the construction space or data center creation arena, well, there's never been a better time to make money while the making is good. And for us, AI is here to stay. So make it a business priority. Be a leader in that space. The people who will have jobs in the future will be those who can use AI at a business level, not people that were replaced by AI. So, what should we do? Well, I think number one, we should be an active citizen. If you don't think the taxpayer should bear the brunt of any financial missteps done by AI companies, make sure to let your congressmen and women and senators know. I don't know how much that will impact our representatives' decisions. I'm a political independent and I dislike both parties equally. But don't be a passenger when it comes to this. You may not be heard, but share your voice anyway. Second, AI evangelists love to sprinkle sunshine in everything that touches AI. Don't fall for the spin. They're just businesses trying to maximize their product offerings. No doubt AI will do some incredible things, but that doesn't make everything they sell incredible. So be a realistic, skeptical consumer. And lastly, enjoy the ride. Not since the internet has AI provided such paradigm shifting opportunities. I remember how your mind was blown by all the possibilities that the internet offered that never seemed to exist before. Well, the same potential exists with AI, and to me, that's really fun. So enjoy the ride and know the tech. Make it a point of leverage in your personal and professional life. So, look, the leaders of AI, at least until it reaches superintelligence, are still flawed human beings with a touch of hubris. They'll make mistakes, like we all do. But what they're creating may provide Gen Xers with new opportunities that we'd never have otherwise. So be on the lookout for where AI touches that part of your life that means the most to you. AI will only get better. Now, I'm personally a bit skeptical that LLMs are on the path to where AI leaders say it will go. At the same time, I'm also terrified if AI starts working with quantum computers. So let's just enjoy the salad days of AI while they last. All right, so listen, tell me what you think. What do you think of Altman's response? Is there an AI bubble? Are AI leaders hiding anything we should know? I mean, let me know in the comments. And listen, if you're new to AI, if you're not sure which AI you should invest your time in, no problem. If you join my Gen X AI community, it's free. You'll have access to our tool to give you the answers you need. All you do is you enter your skills, your experience, your interest, your hobbies, and it will go out and search and tell you which current AI solutions to investigate. And you can compare which one best suits your goals. Again, the link to my Gen X AI community is in the show notes, so please check it out. And finally, Gen Xers, I say it before, I'll say it again. Don't wait for someone to define your future. Let's start shaping it together. All right, listen, thank you so much for spending your time with me today. I believe that time is our most precious treasure. And the fact that you spent any of that time with me means the world to me. I mean it. So thanks. All right. Well, I'm going to go back to reading articles and I'll let you know when I find something I think you need to hear about. I'll see you next time.